Hello my scholars, you are welcome to my school channel and my name is Frank. In this video, we are going to be tackling Jamb CBT past question for chemistry, year 2023. Please do not go anywhere, stay with us and we'll be right back. Welcome back to my school channel. So in this video, we are going to be solving question 21 to 40. So let's start off with question 21. What is the trend for ionization energy across a period in the periodic table? Okay, so before we answer this question, it is necessary that we understand the meaning of ionization energy. So what do we mean by ionization energy? Ionization energy simply means the energy required to remove an electron from a neutral atom. Is what referred to as ionization energy. Okay, and ionization energy are one of those properties, okay, that elements exhibit on the periodic table. So as you move from left to right, okay, on the periodic table, ionization energy actually increases. Okay, and the reason for that is because of decrease in atomic size. Okay, as you move from left to right on the periodic table, atomic size reduces, okay, or atomic size decreases, okay, or you can especially see it as a result of an increase in nuclear charge. Okay, as you move from left to right on the periodic table, okay, nuclear charges increases, so that in turn causes the ionization energy to increase. So the answer to this question is option A. Question 22. What type of chemical combination involves the transfer of electrons from one atom to another, resulting in the formation of oppositely charged ions? So what we are going to be doing, we are going to be explaining the options one after the other. So let's start with ionic bonding. So what is ionic bonding? So ionic bonding is a type of bonding that occurs between a metal and a non-metal. Okay, so the metal actually transfers electron to the non-metal, while the non-metal accepts the electron, okay, resulting in the formation of positively charged ion. Okay, so option A is our answer, but let me just explain the remaining options. Okay, so option B is hydrogen bonding. So hydrogen bonding is a dipole attraction, okay, which occurs between hydrogen atom, okay, and a strongly electronegative element, okay, like fluorine, like oxygen or nitrogen. Okay, then option C, covalent bonding. Covalent bonding is a type of bonding that involves sharing of electron, okay, sharing of electron pairs, and it usually occurs between two non-metals. Okay, for example, the type of bond found in methane, a typical example of covalent bonding. While metallic bonding, this type of bond does not result in the formation of new substance. Okay, it's just the type of bond that holds atoms together in a metal. Okay, so from all I've said so far, the answer to this question is option A. Question 23. Which of the following alkanes has a straight chain structure? So first of all, let's explain straight chain. Okay, so what we mean by alkane with a straight chain structure simply means that the carbon atoms are connected in a continuous chain, okay, without any branch. That's what we mean by straight chain structure. Okay, so the first one here we have is cyclopentane. Cyclo suggests cyclic, something that is circular in shape, so this cannot be a straight chain. So we have isobutane. Okay, isobutane is the same thing as 2-methylpropane. Okay, of course, isobutane has a branch, so this cannot be the answer. The option C is the same thing as B, 2-methylpropane. Of course, this alkane has a branch. Okay, then the D, we have pentane. Of course, the pentane here doesn't have any branch, it's just a straight chain. The carbon atoms are arranged in a continuous straight chain without any branch. So D is the correct option. Question 24. What is the product of the electrolysis of aqueous sodium chloride using inert electrodes? So the word aqueous here simply means that this sodium chloride is actually dissolved in water. Okay, that's what we mean by aqueous. So here we have to be careful because the question did not say concentrated, whereas the question said aqueous. So we can see this aqueous as being dilute sodium chloride suspended in water. Okay, so the product of the electrolysis of aqueous sodium chloride using inert electrode will be hydrogen gas at the cathode and oxygen at the anode. But let us illustrate this on the board. Okay, so for your aqueous sodium chloride, these are the ions. So we have sodium ion and chlorine ion. Okay, then we also have hydrogen ion and hydroxide ion or hydroxy ion. Okay, so during electrolysis, of course, sodium will not migrate. Okay, because among the cations, sodium will not migrate because sodium is very, very electropositive. So hydrogen will migrate to the cathode. Okay, hydrogen will move to the cathode, which is the negative electrode. Okay, to acquire electron. Okay, once it acquires electron, it will become neutral hydrogen. So that neutral hydrogen will combine with another hydrogen to form hydrogen gas at the cathode. Okay, now chlorine, hydroxide ion or hydroxy ion is more likely to lose electron compared to chlorine. Okay, and the reason is because the concentration of hydroxide ion in this solution is more than the concentration of chlorine ion. So during electrolysis, it is your hydroxy ion that will migrate to the anode, which is the positive cathode. Okay, so there it will lose electron. Okay, and then it will combine with another hydroxide ion, okay, to form one molecule of water and oxygen. So this one oxygen atom will combine with another oxygen atom to form oxygen gas at the anode. So that is the reason why our answer to this question is option B. Question 25. When an acidic solution is diluted, what happens to its pH? So to answer this question, it will be necessary, okay, for us to draw a pH scale. So let's move over to the board. Okay, so on our board, we already have a pH scale drawn. Okay, so we are using this to answer this question. So when you are moving from your right, okay, when you are moving from your right to your left on the pH scale, okay, you have increasing acidity. While when you are moving from your left to your right, you have increasing alkalinity. Okay, so what does this mean? Now, what this means is that a pH, a solution with a pH of 1, okay, is more acidic than a solution with a pH of 6. Take note of that. So when a solution is being diluted, what that means is that you're actually reducing the number of hydrogen ion, okay, in that solution. If I'm diluting a solution, what that means is that the pH is going to be increasing. Why? Because that solution is no longer as acidic as it were before you started diluting it. Okay, so diluting a solution will actually increase the pH. Why? Because you're actually reducing the number of hydrogen ion in the solution. So let's move over to the screen to pick the correct answer. So when an acidic solution is diluted, what will happen to the pH is that the pH will increase. Okay, because the higher the pH of a solution, the less acidic that solution is. Okay, so that is why D is the correct option to this question. Question 26. Which of the following factors does not affect the rate of a chemical reaction? So we have a lot of factors that affect the rate of chemical reaction. So let's start with option 1. So option 1, concentration of reactant. Yes, concentration of reactant actually affects the rate of a chemical reaction. In fact, the higher the concentration of the reactant, the faster the rate of the chemical reaction. Okay, then option B, we have presence of a catalyst. Of course, that's what catalysts do. Okay, they actually speed up the rate of chemical reaction. So presence of a catalyst affects the rate of a chemical reaction. Then C, we have molecular weight of product. Okay, really molecular weight of product does not affect the rate of chemical reaction. Then temperature affects the rate of chemical reaction. In fact, the higher the temperature, okay, the higher the rate of chemical reaction. So C is the correct option to this question. Molecular weight of a product does not affect the rate of a chemical reaction. Do you know that you can take practice question with our simulated Jamb CBT past question? All you need to do is to click on the link in the description below, and this will take you to my school website, There, you have to download My School mobile app for your Android devices and My School software for your laptops and computer. Please go ahead and start practicing. Moving on to question 27. Which organic compound is responsible for the characteristic aroma of fruits? Okay, so option A, we have alkanes. Of course, alkanes are odorless, so the answer cannot be alkane. Option B, alkynes. So alkynes, they have sweet smells, but they are not the compound responsible for the characteristic aroma of fruits. Okay, C, we have esters. Okay, so esters are actually sweet smelling compounds, okay, that are found in fruit and some other substances. Okay, so the answer to this question is option C, ester. So ester is the organic compound that is responsible for the characteristic aroma of fruits like apple, like orange, like tangerine, etc. So D, option D is amine. Okay, amine doesn't have fruity smell. Okay, amine has the smell of a fish. It smells like ice fish. Okay, so our answer to this question is option C. I believe you are enjoying this video content. If yes, please do not forget to hit the like button, click on the subscribe button, and lastly, tap on the notification bell to get notified as soon as we release new videos. Question 28. What is the molar mass of water? H2O. Okay, so the molar mass of a compound is actually the sum of the atomic mass of the elements that made up that compound. So in the case of what we have here, water, the elements here are hydrogen and oxygen. So what is the atomic mass of water? The atomic mass of water is 1. Okay, it's 1, while the atomic mass of oxygen is 16. So in order for us to calculate the molar mass of water, what we simply do is we will add the atomic mass of hydrogen and that of oxygen together, okay, to get the molar mass of water. So atomic mass of hydrogen is 1, but we have 2 hydrogen atoms here. So multiply that one by 2. So that will give us 2. Then plus the atomic mass of oxygen is 16. Okay, so if we add these 2 together, that will give us 18. Okay, and the unit of molar mass is grams per mole. So that will give us 18 grams per mole. So option A is the correct option. Question 29. What is the chemical formula of rust, which is formed on the surface of iron in the presence of oxygen and moisture? Okay, we know that rust is a reddish brown compound, okay, that is formed on the surface of metal, and that actually takes place in the presence of oxygen and moisture, okay, which is water. So let's illustrate this with a chemical equation. Okay, so this is your iron reacting with oxygen and water. Okay, so here the reason why we use Excel because we don't know the actual mole or number of mole of water. Okay, so this will give us Fe2O3.SH2O. Okay, but this is not balanced, so let's balance it up. So we'll be having 4 here, I'll be having 3 here, and 2 here. So this is balanced up. So this is actually what is referred to as rust. Okay, this is the compound that is referred to as rust, and we refer to this, or we call this iron 3 oxide. Okay, so this is hydrated iron 3 oxide. So let's move over to the screen to pick the correct option. Okay, so A is not what we got from our chemical equation, B is not what we got, C is not what we got, but what we actually got is D. Okay, so option D here is the anhydrous form of what we got on the board. So this is anhydrous iron 3 oxide. Okay, but what we have on the board is hydrated iron 3 oxide, meaning it contains water of crystallization. Okay, but this one does not contain water of crystallization, but it is actually what is formed on the surface of metals, okay, on the surface of iron in particular. Okay, so option D is the correct option. Question 30. How many pi bonds are there in an alkane with 6 carbon atoms? So an alkane with 6 carbon atoms contain or has 5 sigma bonds, okay, associated with the single bonds between the carbon atoms, and 4 pi bonds, okay, associated with the double bond between the carbon atoms. So the answer to this question is option A, 4. Question 31. What is the principal ore of iron from which iron is extracted? So A, we have calcite. Okay, calcite is a compound of calcium. Okay, so A is not the correct option. Then B, we have bauxite. Okay, we have bauxite. Bauxite is not the principal ore of iron, but it's actually the principal ore of aluminium. Okay, then C, we have magnetite. Okay, magnetite is an ore of iron, but it's not the principal ore of iron. Okay, then we have D, hematite. Okay, hematite is actually the principal ore of iron from which iron is extracted. So the answer to this question is option D. Okay, hematite. Question 32. Which group does calcium belong to in the periodic table? Okay, so in the periodic table, elements are grouped, okay, based on the number of valent electrons, okay, based on the number of valent electrons on the atomos share. So for calcium, calcium has 2 valent electrons on its atomos share. Hence, calcium is found in group 2 elements. Okay, but now those elements in the periodic table, they have names. Okay, they have family names. Okay, so group A is alkaline earth metals. Of course, group A is the correct option because the group 2 elements on the periodic table are referred to as alkaline earth metals. Okay, but let me just explain all this. B, we have the halogens. The halogens are the group 7 element. Okay, and they are referred to as salt formers. Okay, then we have option C, which is alkaline metal. Alkaline metals are the group 1 elements. Okay, then we have D, noble gases. Noble gases are the group 8, or you can say the group 0 element. Okay, so the correct option to this question is option A. Alkaline earth metals on the periodic table are the group 2. So calcium belongs to the alkaline earth metal. Okay, and the reason is because of the number of valent electrons in its atomos share, which is 2. Question 33. Which of the following is a primary constituent of crude oil? So A, we have pentane, B, we have ethanol, C, we have heptane, and D, we have methane. Okay, so crude oil, as we know, is a mixture of hydrocarbons, okay, of various chain lengths. Okay, so in our hydrocarbon also we find alkanes there, like methane, ethane, propane, until we get to pentane or so. Okay, but the question here they are asking us is, what is the primary constituent of crude oil? So the primary constituent of crude oil is methane. Okay, even though pentane and the heptane are also found. Okay, so the answer to this question is methane. Methane is the primary constituent of crude oil. Question 34. What is the main source of carbon monoxide in urban areas? So by urban areas we mean cities or developed areas. Okay, so the answer to this question cannot be A, volcanic eruption. Okay, then B, we have vehicle emissions. Then C, we have forest fires. Forest fire in the city, I don't think that is possible. Then D, we have industrial processes. Of course, the major source, okay, of carbon monoxide in urban areas is vehicle emissions. Okay, and this is as a result of incomplete combustion, okay, of fuels and diesels in engines. Okay, so the answer to this question is option B, vehicle emissions. Question 35. What is the empirical formula of a compound containing 40% carbon, 6.67% hydrogen, and 53.33% oxygen by mass? So let's move over to the board to solve this question. Of course, we know that in solving empirical formula, there are some steps that you must follow. Okay, and these are the steps. First of all, you write out the elements that are given to you according to the question. So for the question, we are given C, we are given H, and we're also given O. So let's write out their mass. Okay, so carbon is 40%, hydrogen is 6.67%, while oxygen is 53.33%. Okay, so the next step is to find the number of moles. Okay, so let's write number of moles. So to get number of moles, these are the mass of each of the elements, okay, in the compound. So the number of moles, for us to calculate the number of mole, for us to get the number of mole, we have to divide this mass by the atomic masses of each of the elements. Okay, so for carbon, 40, we are going to be dividing by 12 because the atomic mass of carbon is 12, while for hydrogen is 1. So we are going to be dividing 6.67 by 1. Then for oxygen is 16, so we are going to be dividing 53.33 by 16. Okay, so this will give us 3.33 approximately. Okay, this will give us 6.67, and this will also give us 3.33 approximately. Now the next step is to divide by the smallest of the number of moles. Okay, so the smallest here is 3.3. So I will divide, okay, let's say divide by the smallest. Okay, divide by the smallest. So we divide 3.3 by 3.3. Then we divide 6.67 by 3.3. Then we divide 3.3 by 3.33. Okay, so this will be equivalent to 1, and this will be approximately equal to 2, and this will be also 1. Okay, so now that we have gotten the number of moles or the number of atoms of each of the elements, so we just put everything together. So this becomes C. Of course, we have 1 here, which is negligible if we don't even write it. Then we have H, 2. Of course, we can't neglect 2. Then we also have 0. So this becomes the empirical formula of the compound, CH2O. So let's move over to the screen to pick the correct answer. Okay, so from our calculation, we got CH2O, okay, and that is option B. Question 36. Which separation technique is used to separate different pigments in a mixture based on their affinity for a stationary phase and a mobile phase? So option A, we have chromatography. So what do we mean by chromatography? Chromatography is just a method of separation, okay, that is based on the different rate of movement of a mixture, okay, in a solution over an absorbent material. Okay, so B, we have filtration. Filtration is used to separate between two immiscible substances. For example, if we have sand and water, we can actually filter the water out, okay, to get our sand. Then decantation too is almost the same thing as filtration. If I have a mixture of sand and water, I can as well still decant the water off to get my sand back. Then distillation is used to separate two miscible liquid, okay, of close boiling point. For example, a mixture of water and alcohol, ethanol. Okay, we can separate that mixture using distillation method. Okay, so the answer to this question is chromatography. Okay, because in chromatography, we actually take advantage, okay, of the different rate of movement of a mixture in a solution, okay, over an absorbent material. Do you have any question to ask? Please feel free to ask your questions by clicking on the link in the description below, and this will take you to my school website. There you can ask all your questions and solution will be provided to you within a short period of time. Moving on to question 37. What is the common name for ethanoic acid? So A, we have acetic acid, B, we have butyric acid, C, we have propanoic acid, and D, we have formic acid. Okay, so the answer to this question is acetic acid. Okay, acetic acid is the common name for ethanoic acid, while ethanoic acid is the IUPAC name for acetic acid. Okay, so acetic acid has a basicity of 1, and acetic acid is also used as preservative. Okay, while butyric acid is the same thing as butanoic acid, while propionic acid is the same thing as propanoic acid. Then formic acid is the same thing as methanoic acid. So the answer to this question is option A, acetic acid. Do you have a better explanation or steps in solving any of these questions? If yes, please share this information with us by commenting the question number and the information you wish to share in the comment section below. Question 38. What type of reaction is involved in the formation of alkanols from alkenes? A, we have elimination reaction. Okay, so in elimination reaction, okay, two substituents are eliminated from a molecule to form a new substance. So the answer is not option A. Then B, we have redox reaction. Okay, so redox reaction is a type of reaction in which oxidation reaction and reduction reaction occur simultaneously. So the answer is not B. Then C, we have substitution reaction. Okay, so in substitution reaction, an atom is replaced by another atom in a compound. Okay, option D is the answer, addition reaction. So in addition reaction, okay, the carbon-carbon double bond of the alkane is broken and a alkyl group is added to the carbon atom, resulting in the formation of alcohol. So option D is the correct option. Question 39. What is the mass percentage of carbon in methane? The molar mass of carbon is approximately 12 grams per mole. So let's move over to the board to quickly solve that. Okay, so we are asked to calculate the mass percentage, okay, of carbon in methane. So first of all, we must calculate for the molar mass of methane. Okay, so from the question we are given the molar mass of carbon. Of course, that will be 12. Okay, so the molar mass of methane will be 12 plus, of course, you know that the atomic mass of hydrogen is 1. So 1 times 4, that will be 4. So add this together, this will give us 16 grams, okay, per mole. So now that we know the molar mass of methane, we can actually calculate the mass percentage of carbon in methane. Of course, we know that the molar mass of carbon is 12. So we just go 12 over the total, okay, the molar mass of methane, which is 16 times 100, okay, over 1. So 4 here will give us 4. 4 here is going to give us 25. Then 4 here is 1. 4 here is 3. Then 3 times 25, that equals to 75%. Okay, so the mass percentage of carbon in methane is 75%. So let's move over to the screen to pick the correct option. Okay, so from our calculation, we got 75%, and that is option C, 75%. Question 40. Which of the following is a common property of non-metals? A, exists at solid at room temperature. No, non-metals, most of them exist as gases at room temperature, apart from carbon. B, tend to gain electrons in chemical reactions. Yes, non-metals tend to gain electrons in chemical reaction because they ionize by gaining electron. Okay, so B is the answer to this question. While option C, high thermal conductivity, no, that is associated with metals. While D, readily form cations in chemical reaction. No, they don't form cations in chemical reaction. Rather, they form anions in chemical reaction. Okay, so option B is the correct option here. Tends to gain electrons in chemical reaction to form anions. Okay, so B is the correct answer. I believe you are enjoying this video. If yes, please do not forget to hit the like button, click on the subscribe button, and lastly, tap on the notification bell to get informed as soon as we release the next video.